Welcome back to Mo on the Run. My name's Jake. I'm a teacher, I'm a dad, and I'm a runner. A couple months ago I started a series called Road to Elite, where I've been documenting my journey in fitness and my journey in running, and it's not really gone anywhere in the last couple of months. I've been training pretty consistently, but I feel like my motivation has been low and my goals have felt quite aimless. But I think actually something I need to start doing is actually push myself and to set something ambitious and something that scares me. So I've done something a little bit ambitious and something that scares me quite a lot. For context, I've never run a full marathon before. I've done a marathon training block, and the longest I've ever run is 30 kilometers in training. Today is the 18th of July. A couple of days ago, I booked an ultra marathon for the 9th of August, and that's in the Brecon Beacons. So tons of elevation. I have absolutely no idea whether or not I can do this, but I've set this challenge to see what I'm capable of. There's not really enough time to prep for this. There's not really enough time to get any fitter. I've got some moments to work on some weaknesses, address things that have come up in the last couple of months of training. One of the big things I've noticed has been my strength and power is really low. I don't feel like I'm that explosive as a runner. I think my fitness is really high, but my explosiveness is really, really low. So I've changed my training up and I've started working on weaknesses. Two really big sessions has been hill sprints, which I showed in a previous video, and strength training. So currently I'm in my back garden. I've just put my daughter to sleep and I've got about an hour long strength explosive workout. Really the focus is on power, moving, being dynamic and feeling strong. Tonight I'm going to take you through a strength workout, really what that involves, and the kind of things I'm thinking about as I'm doing these workouts. Starting with a 5-minute skip, get myself warmed up, getting the blood flowing around my legs and just moving. Okay, so that's 5 minutes of skipping done. Yeah, I feel warm, I feel ready. My legs aren't fatigued at all. They're almost primed. So now what I'm doing is a superset where I have a heavy kettlebell. It's only 20 kilos, not too heavy, but it's 10 weighted squats, 10 squat jumps, and then I drop the kettlebell and 10 squats in a superset. So I do that 3 times, and the idea is that it's really quick, fast motion, and it sort of blows my legs out. This is probably the most painful reps of the workout. Doing it first to feel fatigued. This is going to make me really suffer tomorrow morning, and the idea is that actually if I can do my long run with really fatigued legs, that will serve me well for the latter half of the ultra marathon coming up in a couple of weeks. That was really painful. The superset after superset really just shocks your legs. My quads are on fire. And that is set 3 done. That is super painful. My legs are fully shot now. I can tell already if I was to stop the workout there, tomorrow's long run would still be super difficult. But there's more to come. That one really has no running purpose. I think it's more of a vanity thing. There's nothing worse when you start doing real long distance running, feeling like all muscle mass that you might have had, especially around your upper body, just disappears and vanishes. Okay, set number 2. I'm now moving on to a lunge press with a kettlebell, and this one's less of an explosive movement. It's done quite controlled, but it helps me feel really quite powerful and strong. Actually, one of my least favourite exercises, but it really helps, and I can feel it going all along from that posterior chain, quads, back, even into my shoulders as I press and triceps. So really I feel like I'm hitting quite a lot of muscle groups from this, and it's sort of helping that stability and strength. So with that exercise, what I'm focusing on is trying to stay very controlled, trying to keep my balance through my core and my spine. It's quite easy to sort of tilt to the side a little bit, so I'm just keeping upright as much as I can. So this is how I do pull-ups. Okay, I've got one more strength exercise with the kettlebell, and then it's on to skipping. These are just really simple exercises. I don't think it has to be complicated at all. I think a lot of them, other than the vanity stuff, really translates well to running. This one probably more than others because it's a single leg exercise, so I'm isolating one leg at a time, driving through, creating a lot of power. This is quite explosive. You can superset with single leg jumps afterwards, but I'm pretty beat up, so I'm just going to do the weighted single leg squats. Yeah, so I'll show you how it works. So take the kettlebell, put on, and just and that's one set. It's just 8 per leg. I've got a 20 kilo kettlebell, and not only is it working on the power, there's a lot of stability in my ankles. It feels like at any moment I could wobble, my ankles could roll. The opposite of the lunge press, where that's trying to be quite controlled. This is the opposite, it's explosive. There's a bit of wobble, there's a bit of movement. Be great for trail runs where your ankles are working on an unstable base or aren't going flat or at a candor. I really like this exercise. Pairing this with hill runs, I think it's been the biggest key to the strength gains I've seen in the last couple of weeks. Yeah, I can't recommend these enough. And that's the strength workout done. Tomorrow morning I've got my long run, 24k, and my legs feel pretty battered. Last night was the strength session. I'm not feeling fresh this morning, but the idea is to go out and hit around a 4:30 pace for 24 kilometers or 15 miles and just get to the end of it really comfortably. This is going to be really good race simulation because really it's around the halfway point where my legs will feel how they feel at the start of this run. So if I can be this fatigued and still get a pretty good 24k in, I should be alright for the race. when I first started running, using music was something that helped me switch off and zone out and forget about the paces. But now I'm trying to do the opposite and zone in. I've talked to quite a few people about this before, of the why I'm not using music, and I'm finding that really beneficial. When I'm doing these long runs, there are a few things I think about. One is my form and technique, so trying to lift my shoulder or roll my shoulders back, lift my head up, and make sure my cadence is nice and my arms are relaxed. And two, just breathing patterns. And I find without music, it's way easier to get into that runner's high and just sort of get lost in the cadence and breathing patterns, kind of like a drum beat. But yeah, I'm about 5 kilometers in, feeling pretty smooth. Whew. I don't know if you can see, 24 kilometers at 4:29. I stepped up in the last 5k, went more into an easier tempo, but picked it up so I could feel strong at the end. I've been talking a lot in this video about the race that's coming up, but still ultimately my goal is 5k's and getting a really good 5k time. But actually sequencing the training of strength work then long runs is really building a lot of endurance, a lot of strength for my legs. I think my fitness is really high anyway, but actually power and strength is something I need to develop, and this last 2 weeks of training blocks have really helped with that, and I already feel the difference. So yeah, that's the end of today's video, but big things coming up next week. Not only am I continuing the prep, I've also got a club event 5k, and I have a sneaky feeling we're going to go sub 17 on Tuesday, so look out for it. If I get it, that'll be next week's video, and if I don't, that'll be unpacking it. So yeah, thanks for sticking in today. The content style keeps changing. I'm still figuring out how this vlog channel works, what feels right for me and what I'm enjoying making, and also what people like to see. So yeah, thanks, and stay tuned.